Today, we're talking about Cool Mini or Not's reveal of their newest Kickstarter game, Dune War for Arrakis. We're also going to be talking about Owlcat's reveal of some new information for Warhammer 40,000 Rogue Trader, and we even have some miniatures to look at. So let's go ahead and jump into this week's hobby news. I'm Angela, you're watching Hobby Night. Now let's get to it.
Warhammer 40,000 Rogue Trader is the first CRPG that is set in the epic grim darkness of the 31st millennium. It is a classic isometric experience with turn-based combat and diverse adventures that feature space exploration, void ship battles, intrigues, weird warp phenomena, and many other things that make Warhammer 40,000 so damn fun for RPG fans. Today, we're excited to share a little bit more information about the game. Players will take on the role of a daring rogue trader, a sign of an ancient dynasty of privateering explorers that seek profit and plunder in the void between the stars. Every rogue trader holds sway over a vast trade empire at the edge of the Imperium of Men and is unbound by the most common rules and laws. The rogue trader's decisions and deeds send ripples throughout entire star systems and change the in-game world and those who inhabit it. Stay faithful to the Emperor, or test the limits of your privileges and the Inquisition's patience. Wreak havoc on your planets, consort with the enemies of humankind, even fall into the clutches of chaos. Rogue traders never travel alone. Their entourage includes notable individuals, many of whom will be very familiar to fans of Warhammer 40,000. A faithful seneschal might act as your right hand when traversing the void. Perhaps you will seek aid from a dangerous psyker of questionable repute, or a zealous battle sister of the Adeptus Sororitas. How about an elusive Elder Ranger, ready to watch your back through the sights of a long rifle? If all else fails, maybe a ferocious space wolf will lend you their aid in battle, the imposing figure of a space marine silencing any protestations you might face. These are only a few companions that you are about to meet in the game, and it is entirely up to you to decide whom you'd like to see in your attendance. The freedom to forge your own path in a universe ripe for adventure is the main reason why we chose Rogue Trader as our protagonist. Warhammer 40,000 setting has immense depth, and we plan on revealing a lot of the smaller details and nuances of its lore. We believe this will delight fans of the Black Library books or the Rogue Trader Tabletop RPG, as well as those completely new to the Warhammer 40,000 universe. Every game our studios worked on has been shaped with the help of our players. Visit our official site to find a way to be a part of our new story. Become a founder to be the first to try out the game and support us from the early stages of development. Join our Discord server and subscribe to our social media channels for more information coming soon. We have a lot of exciting stuff to share, so stay tuned.
Owlcat Games has revealed some awesome information about their upcoming title, Warhammer 40,000 Rogue Trader. And honestly, I have to say, first and foremost, before we even jump into the information, that I just loved Olga, the presenter. Like, their narrative lead is amazing. I loved her enthusiasm during the entire presentation. And I just really wanted to call that out because as somebody who is also very enthusiastic about this hobby and about Warhammer, it's really cool to see that in the developers who are working on these games. Now, let's actually talk about what we learned in this trailer because we got some more information. We, of course, know it's going to be a classic isometrics experience. It's going to have turn-based combat. We're going to have some space exploration and even some void ship battles, among other things in the game, which all sounds very, very cool. I personally am kind of interested most in what seems like the morality system that's also going to be present in the game, because Olga talked about how you can either be true and pure to the Emperor, or you can, skirt the edges of chaos and maybe fall. And I want to see exactly how far can you fall? How much does it affect your companions that are going to be with you? Will they fall with you? Will they leave you because you have fallen and they don't approve? There's a lot of things that I think could be very interesting there. So that actually has me very excited and I can't wait to learn more. Now, speaking of the companions, we also learned a number of the people who might be on your ship with you as you're traveling around as a rogue trader. We, of course, are going to have a seneschal, which was fantastic to hear because if you're familiar with the Fantasy Flight games and just rogue traders in general, seneschals are their second in command. I used to play one in one of the rogue trader games I was in, so they're very near and dear to my heart, and I'm glad to see them as one of the first announcements. We also got an announcement of a psyker, which is definitely to be expected. Anytime we get a Warhammer game, whether it's on the fantasy side or the sci-fi side, you're definitely going to have a psyker. We also got a reveal that a Sister of Battle can join your crew, which has me super hyped because I always love to see the sisters come into the games. We also are going to get an Eldar Ranger, which you should expect for sure because we actually saw one and she kind of even looks like the one that we saw in Blackstone Fortress, the tabletop game. So it's really cool to see another character like that coming into this game. And we also have a tech priest. Now, one of the big reveals that I think most people are going to be very excited for was the reveal of a grand and mighty space wolf. And I'm very interested to see if we're just going to be getting the Space Wolf option as who we can choose to have come with us, or if there are going to be other chapters available to pick from. It does definitely make sense that the Space Wolves would be the ones who I think likely jump in with some rogue traders and be like, sure, that sounds fun, let's go purge some stuff. But I do wonder if we'll get other options. I overall am just very much looking forward to this game when it comes out. We don't have an official announcement of a release date yet, but as soon as we do, I'll definitely be talking about it, so make sure to subscribe and check back for more. Demons are coming. Oh boy, are demons coming. And specifically, we have a Chaos Demons Codex finally announced. And correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I'm pretty sure this is the final book that we actually needed announced, that we hadn't actually had revealed of coming into 9th edition, which is very cool, because it means honestly, we're probably gonna be moving on to 10th edition very soon. I am excited for this because reading the article about this book, obviously we're gonna get options for all of the 4 Chaos Gods, but Be'lakor, because he has that brand new fancy model, is also going to be included as a separate army with his own army of renown that he can run. And that honestly is pretty cool. I love seeing that come in. I personally can't wait to see what Nurgle is going to be getting it and how they've updated or changed things. And I just hope maybe alongside this, we do also get some new Chaos Demon models because some of them are a bit outdated and I think they could do something a bit more fun. The one last thing that I do want to say about it is I'm a little sad that the Slaanesh Demonette on the cover is like the most shadowed because GW continues to be ashamed of anything related to Slaanesh and the excess and pleasure. And that makes me a little sad. It's that time of the video where I interrupt to tell you about my Patreon and to let you know that we just added a Discord server which all tiers get access to. So if you're wanting a way to chat with me, share with me your projects, or just tell me what board games you're playing, definitely make sure to check the link below and check out my Patreon. We've got another chonky boy to talk about because we have more dreadnoughts. And this time we've got the Leviathan Siege Dreadnought, and I think it's my favorite so far because it's a melee-focused dreadnought, and I just really like melee-focused dreadnoughts. I think they're really cool. He's both got big pincer, like head popping claws, and then he's got his giant grindy claws, which I just I love them and I want to paint them really badly. And I love that he can run both on both hands. That's how I'm going to be building mine. Nothing will stop me. And I will probably be posting about it on my social media at some point. So be looking forward to that once I pick one up. Next, we have a star player that I both love and kind of confuses me because he's a him, but he goes with the Amazonian team. And I really would have thought that it would have been an all-female team for that reason. However, we've got Kon'ssstriktr, and I think he's quite lovely. His face is delightful. He's got big bulging eyes, and I think scales are just the most fun thing to paint ever, and contrast paint works great for them, and we did just have all of those new, very bright, vivid contrast colors released, so I can't wait to possibly grab this one from Forge World and maybe actually paint him. So I was perusing Warhammer Community's website, as I always do every week, and I was looking through the pre-orders, and I got to the Black Library section of pre-orders and went, holy cow, why has this become so redundant in their design for their covers? And that is what I want to just briefly talk about, because almost every single one of the covers that are currently up for pre-order on the community site is a triptych of some variety, usually with one focal center character flanked by two other characters, and if they aren't specifically Xeno and they have any sort of like human element to them, it's often, with like I think one exception, a bunch of token characters on the covers as well, and which is not necessarily a bad thing to have like that kind of diversity and representation.
But wasn't it like 10 books?
It was like 10 of them, and when you do it every single time, it just starts to feel formulaic and disingenuine. And that's just a minor complaint as an artist that I have about the current just design and aesthetic of GW. On a lot of levels, it just feels a bit formulaic and a little disingenuine. But we have a few other things to talk about, so let's jump to those next. The last thing that we need to talk about today is the latest announcement from Cool Mini or Not. As you might know, I really like their games. I tend to keep an eye on them, and we've got a new one coming from the designers of War for the Ring, which I have not played myself, but I've heard nothing but great things about. And this time, we're getting a game set in the world of Dune. It is Dune War for Arrakis, and we don't know a huge amount about it other than who the designers are going to be, and that it's coming to Kickstarter sometime this year. I personally am really looking forward to this. I've heard that that the War for the Ring is a great 2-player game, even though it can play up to 4. And if Dune War for Arrakis follows suit, that bodes very, very well for the Chaos Cultist and I, because while I do love the world of Lord of the Ring and exploring that, I actually find Dune a bit more interesting, and I think playing this game with him would be a lot of fun. So personally, this one very much excites me. Let me know if you're excited for it as well. All right, that has been it for this week in hobby news. Before I head out, I do want to let you all know that this Friday is going to be my first video where I use the Contrast 2.0, and I am very, very excited for them. I picked them all up yesterday. I have been staring at them with delight, and I can't wait to paint up my Orc War Boss using some of those new colors, because I think it's just gonna look fantastic. Now, before we head out, I do wanna give a huge shout out to my patrons for making it so content like this can continue to happen. And without your guys' support, we wouldn't be doing this, so thank you very, very much. I have been Angela, and I hope you have a wonderful hobby night.